Well, it can limit it through a couple of ways. One, it limits the number of people who can enter the occupation. So if you're going to be a barber, which you can tell I don't need too much barbering services, but if you're going to be a barber, you need to have in the US between 1,000 and 1,500 hours of a barber school or cosmetology school if you're doing generally women's hair, although these days it can be either one, in order to provide these types of services. So it limits who can enter the occupation, which might limit innovation. Secondly, in order to provide these services, you must do it in a prescribed manner. So deviations from what is generally viewed as common practices or best practices, you can lose your license. So if you spend 1,500 hours, which is the case in most states, and you deviate from these policies or practices, you can lose your license. So you mentioned you're an electrician in Germany. If you're using different types of new cables, aluminum versus copper, even though aluminum may be better, the prescribed method of doing electrical work is copper. If you use aluminum, you could lose your license. So innovations through new technologies are frowned upon. And let me give you perhaps the most clear example, and that is in ride sharing. I did a piece for the European Union along with a number of co-authors on the innovation of Uber.
Yeah.
Uber was a new technology. The established taxi drivers fought tooth and nail to stop these innovations from coming in. They went to the boards. In fact, in London for a period of time, Uber was banned. And that's a new technology, a new way of getting people from point A to point B. And the licensed interest, the licensed taxi drivers, forbid Uber drivers from entering the market. That is, they said you had to learn every street in London, spend years learning all the alleyways of London in order to provide these services. And as we all know, in terms of getting from point A to B, what you largely need is a good app program to get you Google Maps or something else to get you from point A to point B. That was a dramatic innovation which licensed interests tried to stop.